What's up, guys? No, I'm not going to be that perky girl. You know, one time I saw this video making fun of YouTube videos. It made fun of them and saying everyone starts off the videos by saying, hey, guys. So I was just like, no, I'm not going to start off videos or anything that I do with, hey, guys. And I also had a guy that I was talking to that made fun of the way I would open interviews. Because in radio, you have to have the opening. You have to have, like, in that time, it was like, oh, Big Boy's Neighborhood, let Ricky here. And he would make fun of me. He's like, hey, it's Letty Martinez for Big Boy's Neighborhood. So then, like, it made me so self-conscious that I stopped doing it, which is bad. Like, once you draw attention to whatever it is, one thing I will never stop doing is saying like. So let's just get that out of the way beforehand. I say like, I say and I say kind of like. There it goes. It's just the way I talk. It's my, you know what I'm saying? And I know that it's a crutch and I know that it's better if I fix it, but it's also very me. So, preface to what we're going to get into today. What else did I want to say? Oh, okay. So also what I wanted to mention was maybe if you're having this problem, you can help me find a solution without me having to go to my cell phone carrier or to Apple. I have an iPhone. And for some reason, like, let's say my iPhone is dying. I can charge it with a USB into like a computer, into anything that's not a jack. So anything that doesn't need that cube, a plug, basically. But once it's dead, if I plug the iPhone using the USB into a computer, or if I plug the iPhone into anything else like a car charger that would to charge it, it'll turn on and then turn off and turn on and turn off. It won't even try to charge. It'll charge to where you see the Apple sign and then it'll go like die again. So once it's dead, the only way I could charge it is in a socket with the cube in a socket with the plug or whatever. If it's like on any percent besides dead, I can use a USB into a computer or into a car charger. That's my issue. If you have that issue, if you have like a life hack on how not to have that happen again, please feel free to tell me. Speaking of life hacks, I have a few that I saw and I freaking found out on Pinterest. You can go on Pinterest Pinterest started like a couple years ago, clearly, duh, but a few years ago, and when it first started, I signed up and I was like, oh, this is weird. But then I guess it needed to like load and actually gain the content, because it's all about, you go on a website, you like something, you pin it, and then it becomes like in the library of the Pinterest or whatever, and you could search Pinterest for different things. But I searched Pinterest life hack the other day, and there's so many awesome ones. There's so many awesome life hacks. Like, I'm in Cali, or I'm in LA, and one of the something that pisses everybody off is fucking gas prices, because it costs a lot of money, right? So one of the life hacks is that I read that stuck to me. A life hack is to not, when you're putting gas, don't push the, I don't even know what these parts are. When you're putting gas into the car with the nozzle, don't squeeze all the way, because what you're doing is you're also letting air in, and it's going to be more air than gas that goes into your car. But if you leave it like midway, so if you like only put a little bit of pressure in it, you'll have either equal parts or more parts actual gasoline than air. Boom, life hack. Another life hack is with your phone. If you charge it on airplane mode, it charges twice as fast. And if it's dying, you could just turn the privacy off location, like the fucking GPS, and that'll help it that'll help you stay a little freaking longer living in your phone. So those are two fucking cool ass life hacks, aren't they? Yeah. Stick with me, guys. I know things. My name is Letty. You're listening to Letty Set Go. Basically, as soon as I press play, it's a go sign, and we're going to play we're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about. Let's see, where should we go first? I just let my mind wander. Oh, my class today. So I went to the gym today, and normally I go to the gym after work. So if you're barely getting to know me, or not aware of where I'm at right now, I work at a radio station in Los Angeles, Real 92.3. I do the night show here, 7 p.m. to midnight. And normally I go to the gym after work. So I go to the gym after midnight because two things, I'm going by myself and I'm very as I guess energetic and enthusiastic and like out there I am on mic, which is probably said for a lot of people. I'm very closed off in person when it comes to new people. Actually, I'm lying. I'm really like I am that social butterfly, but there's instances where I curl up, and one of those instances is around guys. Guys I don't know, and when I'm alone, it's different. It's difficult for me to kind of maneuver around those situations. I'm not the like, hey, let me talk to you. Da, 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 da. No. So I go to the gym later on at night when there's less people because it allows, especially because I'm by myself, less confrontation with people. And it's just because I don't know where they're coming from, what kind of place they're coming from. I heard like when I was younger, like in a book, that guys hit on girls more at gyms because the testosterone is so high, and so they're like hitting on everything. So I think that's stuck in my head too. Look at all these things that stick in my head. That's stuck in my head, and so I kind of have that feeling like, what's your intention when you talk to me? So I kind of stay to myself, especially because I'm by myself. When I'm with somebody that goes to the gym with me, I'm way more like happy and go lucky, and I'll talk to people. But because I know like I have like a safe zone in that person. But when I go by myself, I usually choose to go at night. But the thing is, that shit is wearing on me because I have to do shit in the morning, and I'm not used to sleeping in weekdays. I'm not used to sleeping in when it's not like a day that you can, when it's not like a weekend or a holiday. Like, I'm not used to sleeping in on a work day. Granted, my work hours are very different, but even then, like, I'm still used to being up early. And I don't like that. Like, since I started going to the gym that late, I would be up later than I would wake up later than I should have in my head. Okay, so normally I go in at night to the gym because of just kind of that fear of being by myself and getting confronted, and whichever way it could be. It's just a very awkward feeling. It's very intimidating to be at a gym when most likely it's guys. It's a guy thing. Well, not to be sexist, a lot of girls go to the gym. I don't mean it like that. But I feel like ratio-wise, there's more dudes than girls at the gym. And when I go by myself, I feel like that's like double or triple timed the ratio. But today, I'm like, okay, I need to get out of the habit. I need to not go so late at night because it's fucking with me. And I went in the morning. I went I went mid-morning, right? So I go and I start running on the treadmill, and I feel it. Like I start feeling the eyes, or like just that uncomfortable feeling. There's just different situations that make different people feel uncomfortable. And in this moment, I felt uncomfortable. So I'm like, damn, but I don't want to not work out. So I was like, I'm going to go in the yoga room. There's probably, and I looked at the class schedule on my phone for my gym. And I was like, there's a class that's starting right now. I'll just go into the class. I'll run right now, warm up, and then I'll go into the class. And I go into the yoga room, and there's like older, like it was like an older instructor, and like a plus size woman, and then like a middle-aged man, and another older lady. Usually I'm used to like classes when the classes that I choose to go to, and I go into, and there's packed with a bunch of people that kind of look similar to me, or in that same kind of body measurement or age range. So whatever, I go in, and and they kind of looked at me and waited for me to see that there's a class starting. So they wanted me to leave, but I stayed in there, and I got like the mat, and the instructor came up to me. She's like, hey, we're going to start dancing right now. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's an older lady. And so it was a dance class and it was like mambo. Like, it was like, they did the shake, 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 Sonora, shake it all the time. Work, work. They did that song. They did like a salsa song. The da 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 da. Do-do-do. I don't even know if I'm doing it right, but it's like a weird like salsa-ish. And they did the hustle. But I'm in the class and I'm like, yo, this is like Spanish moves. Like, and the instructor, big up to her, whoever she is, whatever her name is, older lady had that hip movement on point. Like I caught myself like staring at her movements, like, damn, you getting it. And I'm just used to like just having natural rhythm. It's hard for me to learn dances because I just go with what I feel. So then to be told like this is 1, 2, 3, and it's just different. But I saw the way she moved and I was like, damn, go ahead, girl. But it was cool to even get that experience in. And she's like, when she did the hustle, she looked at me, she's like, hey, you probably never heard of this before. You probably never even danced this before. This is called the hustle. And we did it, and it was so fucking fun. Like, I haven't had, like, fun like that. And I could literally be me. Like, these old people aren't going to judge me. Not to knock them for being older. These older people aren't going to judge me. Like, they're dancing, and they're with me, too. They're messing up. I'm looking like, it was cool. I had a really good time. It was probably, like, 30 minutes. But it was so cool to me. And she just like, feel it. And her arms swayed and mine did too. But I remember like leaving that and I felt so good. Like I want to take that class again. And I don't care that I'm like the youngest person probably ever to take that class. But it felt so good. And it wasn't on some like, it was cool. And it was just so funny how I was like discriminated against because I was young. And they were like older cats, like, hey, we're going to start dancing now. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm not girl shit. I can read the schedule. But I also say this, like, let life take you, bro. Like, really, I went on the treadmill and then I was like, shoot, there's a class starting. I'll just go into the class. And I didn't know what the class was. I saw that it said like something dance. So I'm like, oh, fuck it. Like, I'll go into this class. But I didn't know what was in store. I could have left when she said, hey, we're going to start dancing now. I could have left when I came in and there was, like, a little bit of people and they were older than me. But I'm like, no, I'm going to stick this out. And it was so fun. So, like, if I just suggest, like, however it takes you, like, if you end up somewhere where you're like, this is weird, take it on. Like, fuck with it. Like, see what you can make out of it. Because it really made me happy. Like, afterwards, I felt cool as shit. I felt like, yo, I can do the hustle, dog. Can you? You can fucking Dougie. You can Nene. You can watch me or whatever. You do the hustle. Because it's cool to do. That's my story about today at the gym. And I really liked it. Shout out to that lady. Mercedes. That's something Big Boy says. Oh, it's Big Boy's birthday. Happy birthday, Big Boy. I do have a Big Boy story that I did want to share. I cried the first time I met Big Boy, and I did want to talk about him because a lot of times people have a false sense of what's going on between him and I. And Big Boy, someone that I used to work with on his show, Big Boy's Neighborhood, nationally syndicated show. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people, if they don't know about the show, they know about the person that is Big Boy. But I worked for him, and being from LA, like, you grew up on this man. Like, this was the guy. And especially me wanting to be in radio, like, it was already like, that's my homie. I remember there's like a series of tunnels, and I tell this story often. My bad if you already heard it. But there's like a series of tunnels in LA off of I always get these mixed up, the 110 and the 101. But it's whatever's by Dodger Stadium and Staples Center. When you're leaving there to come towards Burbank, so you're coming from those freeways to the 5. There's like a series of tunnels. It's 4 tunnels. And when I was little, I used to watch Tiny Toons. When I was younger. I used to watch Tiny Toons. And there was this one episode where whatever the duck was in Tiny Toons, because I don't know, it's not Daffy. Daffy, is it? It's Baby Daffy, or I don't know. It's a duck that was in Tiny Toons, and he was going with his friends to this amusement park, and they were passing through a tunnel, and in the cartoon they told him, close your eyes, hold your breath, and make a wish, and while you drive through the tunnel. So when you do that, And then after the tunnel, whatever you wish is going to come true. So long story short, the duck wished for the amusement park to come. And as soon as they passed the tunnel, the amusement park showed up. Like it was the next exit or whatever. But I always took that. And every time I would pass by these tunnels, I would close my eyes, hold my breath, and make a wish. And my wish would always be work with Big Boy on the radio. And it wasn't like little tunnels either. And it's LA, so there's tunnels with traffic, bro. I would literally hold my breath from the beginning of one tunnel to the end of the last tunnel. And there was some, and it's like, be like, no, I'd be like, not panting because I couldn't breathe, but like squeezing everything. And I could imagine turning red or purple. But I was like, no, because then I got used to hearing how it, like my ear sensitivity to when we were under the tunnel, when we were past it, got better and better. So I knew when we were past the second tunnel, past the third tunnel, I knew when the car turned a little bit, that means that we're out of the tunnel and we're free and clear. But literally, this was something that took a lot of energy, and this was like thoughts become things type shit. I know every time I had that, every single time I drove past by there with my parents, that's what I would do. I'd close my eyes, hold my breath, and make a wish to work at the radio station with Big Boy. And not just there, any wish where you threw the penny in the well, any, you know, those little weeds, I want to say they're dandelions, that you blow on and make a wish, those things, birthday cakes, anything that you could wish on, I would wish for that, working with Big Boy. And look at what happened. See? You can't tell me you can't tell me that thoughts don't become things, because I have a guarantee and I have proof that they do because of what happened to me, my experience with it. But anyway, so in 2000, hello? Okay, sorry, pushed a button. So in 2010, I want to say it was 2010, Rock the Bells. I was currently at that time, I was working at a radio station in Palm Springs, and went to Rock the Bells. Love Rock the Bells. I'm a kid from the underground. Like, I love underground hip hop. And my PD at the time was like backstage. And backstage at a festival, you don't want to do that. Honestly, backstage is overrated, but to be somebody that is backstage, to saying that to other people that haven't been backstage, like, you're probably like, yo, shut up. It's not overrated. But really it is. It's a bunch of busy shit, like bunch of people telling you can't go here, you can't go there. Freaking set people changing sets and moving around, and light people, engineers, all that shit. It's not as like fucking flashy or anything. But he was backstage, especially at a festival, bro. Especially at a festival. It's out in the open. It's hot anyway. Like, no. So my PD was backstage, and he was like, hey, you want to come backstage? And I was like, yeah. At that particular Rock the Bells, Lauryn Hill was performing. And I'd never seen Lauryn Hill perform, but she's one of my favorites. She's one of my favorites. I love her. And I was so excited to see her. So we're backstage, and I see Big Boy. And at that time, the station I was working at was also running Big Boy's show in the morning at the station. So he basically worked with me already at that station. So I asked my PD, like, hey, can I meet him? And my PD's like, yeah, come here. So he went over, and he introduced me to Big, and Big said hi. He took a picture, and it was so funny because they took a picture of us, and as soon as they took a picture, like, my PD started talking to Big, but as soon as he took a picture, I turned around and I just started bawling, crying, like a baby, like a little bitch, just crying. Because I just met Big. Like, you got to think, like, years and years and days of my life, and holding breaths and blowing out candles and throwing pennies and all of those thoughts of, like, I want to work with him. And here's the thing. Here's a person that I had been trying to manifest in my life. And I see him and I meet him. And he's such an inspiration, period, from that point. Like, that I was like, oh, my God, life. I'm going to cry now. So I cried. I think he was too distracted to know. And then I went to go see Lauryn Hill. That was like probably one of the best experiences of my life. Went to go see Lauryn Hill perform. She fucking killed it. A lot of people don't fuck with Lauryn Hill performing because I guess she shows up late or she does it half-assed. That performance to me killed. Like, I was completely happy with it. Maybe I was high off the moment of meeting Big or seeing her, but it was amazing. So that was summer 2010. I'm thinking November-ish 2010, I got let go from that station in Palm Springs. And then in December, I met Jeff Garcia, who does sports at the radio station in LA, the other radio station in LA. And I met him at a charity event in December. And the way that me and him clicked was we're both Atmosphere fans, like huge. Like, I don't know where I read it, but I knew he was an Atmosphere fan. And I came up to him and I'm like, hey, I want to just say what's up, like, because you're an Atmosphere fan and I'm an Atmosphere fan. And I think it's like once you meet someone else that is, it's like you guys are automatic homies because not a lot of people, not that not a lot of people are, but not a lot of people in what we do may know or be up on or have been have just gotten up on him. So him and I started talking. He's like, what are you doing or whatever? And just, I tell him that I'm in radio and he's like, yo, like I'm in charge of the board ops, which in radio, the board ops control basically the board of a radio station. They make sure that the commercials run. They make sure that the sound, the levels are good. Nothing's peaking. You don't hear distortion when you're listening to the radio because of a board up. They just I think they're the hidden heroes of a radio station. They make sure it sounds great. They don't go on air. They're just behind the scenes. So he was in charge of that at the station in LA, and he was like, yo, send me your stuff. I might have something for you. And to me, I was on air already in maybe this is a good, I'm talking about life hacks, but maybe this is a good lesson because it's happened to me a couple times in life, but I could have been like, no, I'm not going to do board op because I was already on air in Palm Springs. Like, I'm an on-air personality. I'm not a board op. It's kind of like not even levels, but it's just different things. Like, you kind of graduate from board op to on air, and if you're lucky. And I was already on that. Like, it's like taking a step backwards in a sense. But I was like, you know what? Whatever it takes, like, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And then like a couple months later, I got put on air. I got put on air overnights and weekends. And see, it's just that, I think it's that test to God sees if you're down to do lesser or the dirty work. And maybe he's not even putting you through it for a long time. He just wants to know that you are willing. And then once you show him that you are, then it's like, all right, here. You already made that confident decision, like, okay, I'm going to do this because I know it'll work out for me. And then, well, look, you don't have to wait too much longer. Here you go. Literally, it was that. It was probably like 1 month in board hopping. Whereas I could have been like, no, sorry, I'm not going to take that. If you have any on-air on-air fucking openings, then hit me up. And then it wouldn't have happened for me. But anyways, I got put on air overnights and weekends. And overnights on a radio station is basically like 12 a.m. or 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. to when the morning show kicks off. And so I would do that. And one day, I kind of stayed a little bit over because I was like typing up a report. And Big Boy took over, like, clearly the studio. So he was there. And he just sparked up conversation with me. And I told him about how I cried when I met him. And I told him about how I cried when I met him. And he was like, yo, can you do news? At the time, his co-host was on vacation and he had somebody filling in for that co-host. And he just asked me, I don't know how much longer that his co-host was on vacation for. I don't really remember. But I remember he's like, hey, can you do news? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't know what the hell that meant. But I knew I could do it because it's like, shit, I'm going to learn even if I can't. And they asked me to like submit stories, come in, prep, like, and knock out breaks with him. Just talk to him and do the news, basically. And I did it. And I filled in for the rest of the time that his co-host was gone. And then a couple, like I want to say a month or two later, his co-host left and they told me like, hey, you know, like, can you fill in? It's so funny at that station. I was never, and I talked to Big about this. I was never meant to be there. I was never meant to stay there. Because I was always like, okay, you're going to fill in at that point in time, and not to Big. Not because of Big, because Big fought for me to stay on. I was never meant to stay there. I was always meant to be like the fill in, in the meantime, until we find somebody else. But I remember Big said, he's like, yo, I could find someone that looks, I could find someone that's more experienced. At the time, probably on air a year and a half-ish. So that's as far as my experience goes. I could find someone that's more experienced. I could find somebody that, like, knows more gossip. Not even, like, just can execute it well, better. I could find somebody that has more connections, because it's all about also who you bring into the station, or who, like, just, it's like you work whoever you know to, like, come in, or the latest, or like an insider's viewpoint on things. And he's like, but I can't find anybody that has the heart that you want. Like, they've been having girls come in, and like some girls you could tell like want that LA money, or they want like the like, they look at the size of the market. They don't look at what this show is. And you look at it from the point of view of like, you want to be a part of this show. And I always say, long before I was a part of Big Boy's Neighborhood was a part of me. And I know a lot of people in LA can get that. And what I mean by that, and it's just radio, the power of radio. You know these people, even if you don't know these people, you know them. They're as a part of your life as the other people you see every day, because you're listening to them every day for a good amount of time. So I was kind of, and not by, like, the higher ups were just kind of like, all right, we'll eventually find somebody. And granted, they just never found somebody that could fill. And not that I'm like, oh, the fucking shit, but like that could give what I gave for that moment, in that moment in time. I feel like Big, and even with my name Ricky at that radio station, which some of you may know me by, and if you don't, yo, thank you for knowing me for who I am. But I went by that name, and it was more so a name given to me as like a stage name, but it came with no essence to it. It came with no substance to it. It was a shell of a name. It wasn't given to me because I did something Ricky-ish when I was younger, or I get that story doesn't need to be told. That story's been told. But Big fought for me. Big fought, like, he knew, like, yo, I know that's your name. I know you feel, but like Letty sounds more familiar. Like, he would really fight for me. And it just didn't, we didn't win that fight. But for a lot of times, Big would fight for me. And it's not even, he didn't need to, but he really was protective. And in a protective sense where the stuff that I had to go through may have ruined me had he not been there to shield me from a lot of stuff, or to when I couldn't stand up for myself, because this is all new to me. I'm a year and a half in. I ain't fucking weathered to the industry or the way people play the game, and he was, though. Like, he saw it and he could see how people are, and like, just, it's the dog eat dog world. But he shielded me and the other people on his show in that, like, it's like, yo, I've been through it. Like, you're a part of my show. You do work for me. You do good work for me. I'm gonna make sure that other shit, that in the hall shit, that shit ain't going to deter what you're doing in here. I I ultimately feel like that other shit did. And a lot of, and as well, I will say, for my sake, especially with a lot of hindsight and retrospect of the situation, I clearly could have fucking maneuvered myself better and gotten through these hurdles easier had I not taken shit so personally, and had I not been so like comparing to other people. I remember I give this advice when people ask me for advice on like on working or what you do. I always say, like, don't compare your timetable of success to another person's timetable of success, because there's always going to be someone that gets to it at a younger age. There's always going to be somebody that gets to it in a faster amount of time, and it's going to eat at you if you look at your timetable of success compared to somebody else's. And it's so easy to say, but when you really just stop doing that, that's when shit fucking works out for you. The moment I stop being like, well, why does this person get this, and I worked this hard for this, and we shouldn't have this, and like we shouldn't be on even levels if they didn't work as hard, or they don't come in as early, or they don't they're not as, they didn't earn stripes. It's just that it's a bitterness that ate at me, and it ate at my like want to build, because then at a time then you start being like, yo, what the fuck do they have against me, and that'll fuck you up. But all throughout, and see, the thing is, at the same time, this is why like people that are more weathered get it for longer, because they go through that stuff earlier in radio, in smaller markets, and shit that'll like, once they learn, they're like, all right, they do better in their other markets, and by the time they hit that prime time, which is the LA or the New York market, then they're like, I've been through this, I know how to handle this. Whereas I was not in that. Like, I had to deal with that shit there, and it affected me there. It's just like you go into a fight and you have talent, you have potential, but you don't have that, like, it's like all you're doing, and you're a great slugger. You can fucking hit the bag so well. You're quick. You're on your feet. But it's until you get those 12 rounds in with somebody else that you know, like, it's really like, all right, this is it. This is me getting into it. And the first couple, you're probably not gonna win. So imagine like getting those first couple in prime time. Like, you go straight to HBO pay-per-view. I make everything a metaphor, and a lot of it has to do with sports. So bear with me. And you're in the fucking HBO or Showtime pay-per-view, and that's when you have your first fight. Like, nah, you eventually get up to there. So I kind of had to just make it like I was there when I wasn't necessarily ripe for it in the radio game sake, because radio is great. Like, I'm pretty sure any industry, just in adult life, adult fucked up conniving motherfucking piece of shit relationship, enemy, frenemy, workplace, co-worker shit. All that shit is what got to me. And not what got to me, what I wasn't expecting. I was expecting the hard work. I was expecting the music. And all of that, I excelled. Like, you really couldn't. You still can't touch me on that shit. But it was that other shit, that in the hall shit, that, like, people shit, like, that's what got to me. But all of that, I say all of that to say, Big, knowing that, was still very protective. Like, yo, come here, like, this is how you handle that. Like, fuck, yo, chill. Like, I see what this is. And it was always that. And he didn't have to. He did not have to. At any moment in time, he could have been like, yo, this is a lost cause, I'm out of here. And he didn't have to put that front for me as much as he did. I feel like he saw that I had a heart for him. He saw that I had a heart for him, a heart for the show, and I wasn't there to be more than that. But the situation ended at that station. And then comes this news station. And like I'm getting recommendations by like real motherfuckers in the game for this radio station. And I even get called, like I get called by like a real close dude. And he's like, man, like I wish shit didn't end how it ended, like, because like, you know, like you would have been brought on like with Big, and it would have been this is it, like y'all make it, y'all are it. But it didn't happen that way. And then for like Big to hit me on some like, yo, I wish I could bring you on, but just like the way shit ended at that other stage, and not even the way shit ended there afterwards. Like it's just like it was a weird talk, and I was assuming shit. Like I never got clarity of the situation, and so like when you don't have clarity, you just are left to assume. So then you're just on your own. And when we come to the news station, he's like, yo, like, I bigged you up. I said, like, yo, you need to be here. You are what this station is saying that they are. So you need to be here. Like, you are what this station is building itself upon. You need to be here. You need to rep LA. You need to rep who you are. You need to rep that real shit. You need to, like, rep that passion music fucking you shit. Like, you need to be you. And I had talks with the PD here. And then it's funny because Big was the one who was like, yo, people know you as Ricky, but you know it's a new station. You could go by your real name. Like, you could go by Letty. And because I know how much you don't like that. Like, it's not even that I don't like the name Ricky. There's nothing, I don't think it's ugly. I don't think any of that. But it didn't mean anything to me. It was nothing but like a shell, like I said. And so he helped me drop it. And again, out of his just heart, like, yo, I see that you're kind of chained to this name, and it has so much negative energy around it. Like, let's say you were in a badass relationship. You're in a bad relationship, and that boyfriend or girlfriend gave you something. It could be a teddy bear, it could be a sweater, or whatever. After you guys break up, keeping that teddy bear, keeping that sweater around is going to remind you of the fucked up relationship or the person or whatever energies behind it. And it's like, it's not something, and granted, you hold on to it because we are human, we hold on to things. But to break yourself from it breaks yourself from that negative energy too. So Big was kind of the one that was like, yo, you should do it. Because for a long time I was thinking about it, but you always have that fear. Like, I built my name up for something and for up to this caliber, and people know me already, and artists and what I've done and the accolades and the acknowledgments. And it's like, nah, but who's to say that it's not going to happen again for myself in the future? Long story short, because I'm sorry that I keep talking about this fucking story. And not to plug anything, but I made a video about it. It's called Call Me Letty on YouTube. And I think it just really goes into it. But say all of that to say, Big was the one that was kind of behind the movement of like, yo, just be yourself, be you. Like, you can do it. Like, you are why you are where you are. Like, you are, not like that you know me, because I know a lot of people, not by like other shit, it's because of who you are. And that, I feel so free now. And it's been a few months, and I really, really feel free now. And I feel like me, like, it's such a weight lifted. But I say all of that to say, to be in the presence of Big Boy yet again, working with Big Boy yet again, having that work with him already and alongside him already, and seeing that he's really true to who we think we are. And that's so important to me, because a lot of people that we meet aren't how we think they are, and it fucks with you, because it's like, that's why they say never meet your idols, because it'll fuck with you when they're not who you think they are. Because whatever we think a person is what they are, basically, until we meet them and they prove us differently. And a lot of times they're going to prove us differently, because we have a fantasy type, all is good type, they're the greatest type, only the good things, not the flaws type shit. I'm rambling. But Big brought me onto the new station. It was him. Like, other people hella gave a cosign, but the new station wasn't going to put me on. Had Big not gave the okay, and Big did more than give the okay. He was kind of like leading the charge, like, yo, she needs to be on. So that's I'm indebted to the man. Like, he didn't need to do that. That's heart right there. You know what I'm saying? That's heart. And to go back to my previous point of how at the other station I came on as a board op, which is a step backwards to an honor personality, and I was just like, you know what, it's gonna be cool. You're gonna do it. At least you're in there. So here, they were like, yo, we got all our full-time positions, and you're talking to a girl that was morning show, which is like cream of the crop, which is like in the hierarchy of radio, that's where you want to be. Morning show, LA. And they're like, we can put you on overnights. That's like not one step back. That's like 5. But to me, like, and I really just I've found, you know, it's like the stuff that I needed before I got into the other station, I now have. So I now can maneuver better because I've been through it. But it just sucks that I went through it at a bigger market. But I now have that, like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to prove ourselves. Again, within the first couple months of being on overnights, weekends, 1 shift or 2 shifts a weekend. They were like, yo, we got this spot. Can you come in? Can you try nights out? Yeah, I could try nights out. And it's just like, you just prove yourself and you then become who you are meant to become. When you know that you got it, you don't mind proving yourself for it because you know you got it. When you don't think you got it, or when you know you don't have it, that's when you're just like, damn, don't put me back there because I'll never get out of it. To me, I'm just like, yo, like, I know, put me on the bench. Because I know once you say, like, yo, can you go in for a minute? I'm a ball. See, get a metaphor. I'm a ball, and then you're going to want me to start. That's what happened to Kobe, by the way. I always say, like, I'm Kobe. I don't know the exact years, but it was after he was in the finals, and he kept fucking shooting air balls and air balls and air balls, and the fucking Lakers lost, and they go, season ends, season comes back up, and they're playing the same people that they fucking lost to, and Kobe balls. Kobe was on the bench, and they put him on, and he balls, and they're like, yep, this guy came back fucking killing it, start, and there you go, Kobe Bryant. So it's like, I told my best friend Tito, yo, I'm fucking Kobe. After he comes back after those fucking air balls. And he comes back and he's like, yo, what's up, motherfuckers? That's my story about Kobe Bryant. And I don't know how we got to Kobe. But yeah, I guess my advice would be 2 advices. What's the plural of advice? Or is advice like sheep and it's plural already? I don't know. I'm a grammar person. I should know. It's advice. Those 2 pieces of advice, or 2 pieces of advice that I would stick to for today is, 1, don't compare your timetable of success to another person's timetable of success. We're all on different paths, bro. And then one thing about girls, let me just throw it out there with ladies in the industry, and something that I will never not discuss because fuck, it fucked me up how against each other girls are. Even if they homies, they ain't really homies. They ain't really out for your betterment. And I'm sure it's like that. I'm not even going to say in radio. I'm sure it's like that in a lot of industries. I don't know what the fuck is in women's heads, and I'm a fucking woman, that think only one of us can make it. Yo, you see all the fucking men that are making it, like all the dudes that are in whatever field, And you think only one girl can make it? Like, let as many girls as possible make it. And then we make it that, though. Like, we make it like, yo, there can only be one type shit. And that's why there is only one, because everyone's trying to knock each other down for one spot when, yo, there can be several. We can all make it. There's a lane for everyone. There ain't no girl that's like me. And as long as I'm confident in what I bring and who I am, and that I'm being authentically me, no one can touch my lane, because no one can be me, bro. Like, fuck. But I always constantly and it sucks. It sucks. I constantly was confronted with it. People scared that I'm going to take their lane, or that I'm going to take their job. If you're really good at what you do, I ain't going to take your job, because you're going to have your job based on what you do. Whatever job I end up having is the job that I was supposed to have, because I am qualified for it. And it's me, it's my lane. That irks me. Girls need to not do that shit. And even with me, like, someone will be like an aspiring girl jock or whatever. I won't knock them. Like, I'll be like, yo, yes, here, like. Because at the end of the day, like, let's think of it like legacy-wise. And I think of this when I think of like the Little Kim, Nicki Minaj thing. And just like the dynamic of it. Had Kim been like, yo, and I'm sure people have said this already, but have Kim been like, yo, you fuck with me, I inspire you. The shit you're doing has something to do with me. Like, yo, do your thing, girl. Because then when this girl's popping, who's she gonna shout out? Who's she gonna say inspires her? Who's she gonna bring out on stage? Somebody that the world would have otherwise like forgot about, and not even forgot about, but just like you just have your time by embracing the people under you, or like your, you know, like your babies or your sons or whatever. Y'all motherfuckers is my sons type shit. By embracing these people that are inspired by you, that do work and say like, yo, I'm this, or because of you, by embracing them, you prolong your legacy. You prolong where you grasp, because then their fans are going to want to know why you inspired them. And it's just a common respect. Whereas if you cut that off, if you're just like, no, I'm not going to talk to you. Because honestly, if it's a fucking star, it's going to shine. Regardless of whether you acknowledge it or not. Might as well fucking acknowledge the star. And shine along with it. Because otherwise you're going to look stupid as fuck. Like, no, I don't know who that is. She ain't taking my spot. Like, that ain't cool. And I don't know if guys have it too. I'm a woman, so I deal with the women aspect of it. But it irks me. And I say that to say, whatever girl that is coming up, I always embrace. I always give advice to. And I wish the best, because I'm that. And it's not, oh, I'm so fucking cocky and confident. But I know that what's meant for me is going to be. What's meant for them is going to be. And because they eat, don't mean that I'm going to starve. And in order for me to eat doesn't mean they have to starve. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird mentality put in a woman or women that I've seen. And it disgusts me. So I guess 3 pieces of advice. If you're a girl listening and you become whatever you become in your trade, in your field, whatever it is, don't be so afraid in the newcomers. Embrace them. Because you can be their biggest mentor, and they can then be the ones that carry on whatever you got going on for yourself. Don't compare your timetable of success to another person's timetable of success. You're younger than somebody older than you that got it later than you did. You got it earlier than somebody did. And somebody's going to get it earlier than you did, lesser time than you did, younger than you did. A lot of people are. It's going to be there. Don't compare. It's going to fuck you up. And also, do not say no to proving yourself. Be okay with proving yourself. If you're really in it for what you're supposed to be in it for, really, 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 it shouldn't matter. You should be able to and gladly be like, all right, let me prove myself. And I promise you, I'm a woman of faith. I believe in God. I promise you, that's that test. And it's not even for a long time. It's not like the God's gonna put you in fucking the dirt or the trash or the shitty job for a long time. He just wants to see that you're willing to do that. You're willing to go and take those steps back in order to take that huge ass leap forward. And I say that from experience. Like, all of this comes from experience. I promise you that let me be the example of it. Let me be the example of thoughts become things. I literally thought of that big shit and it happened. And I will always, and because I have such belief in it now, I know whatever I think is going to happen again, and it's just going to keep reinforcing my thought and the thoughts to become things because I have seen confirmation of it. And I also have seen confirmation of, don't let your ego, where you think you should be, deter you from a lesser job, because that lesser job could just be like the test. Well, and it's a test of an ego and confidence. And that's it for today. I'm done yelling at you. Life hacks, if you have any, share them with me. I think they're cool. And I'm not going to end this video I'm not going to end this podcast by saying bye, guys. Because that was also in the YouTube video, making fun of YouTube video, or like a kiss or like a peace sign. So I'm just going to stop it like mid-sentence or something. Because I don't know, it's unconventional, and it just needs